You've carried something for a long time. A weight you can't name, a pattern that repeats, a pain that returns no matter how hard you try to escape it. You've been told it's karma. You've been told you must suffer through it, life after life, until the debt is paid. But what if that's not the whole truth? What if there's a way to step out of that cycle right now, in this very lifetime, without waiting for the wheel to turn again? Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, spoke of this secret throughout his life. He called it grace. And he said it was the one force that could cancel karma instantly. Not reduce it, not delay it, cancel it. But most people never activate it. They live their entire lives under the weight of what they believe they owe, never realizing they've been given the key all along. Karma is real. But it is not a punishment. It is not a cosmic judge waiting to strike you down for your mistakes. Karma is simply imbalance. It is the energy you put out into the world that has not yet returned to balance. Every action creates a ripple. Every choice sends out a wave. And when those waves are out of harmony, they must eventually come back to you so that balance can be restored. This is not cruelty. It is law. It is the universe's way of teaching you, of guiding you back to wholeness. But here is what most people don't understand. The law of karma operates under a higher law. And that higher law is grace. Grace does not erase the lesson. It transforms how the lesson is learned. It shifts you from suffering to understanding, from punishment to healing, from endless cycles to sudden freedom. Cayce said that karma is not locked in stone. It is not a sentence you must serve. It is a vibrational debt that can be dissolved the moment you align yourself with the frequency of grace. But grace is not something you earn through effort. It is not something you beg for. It is something you become open to. And most people, without knowing it, block grace every single day. They block it with guilt. They block it with the belief that they are not worthy. They block it with the need to punish themselves, to prove they are sorry, to carry the weight as if suffering itself will make them clean. But grace does not wait for you to be perfect. Grace meets you in your brokenness. It enters the moment. You stop defending yourself and start surrendering. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender is the greatest spiritual power you have. It is the act of stepping aside and letting the divine take over. It is the moment you stop trying to fix everything on your own and admit that you need help, that you are ready to be changed, that you are willing to let go of who you were so that you can become who you are meant to be. This is where grace begins. Not in your strength, but in your openness. Not in your perfection, but in your honesty. Grace cannot enter a closed heart. It cannot work in a soul that is still clinging to control, still trying to prove itself, still wrapped in the armor of pride or fear. Grace requires softness. It requires trust. It requires you to say, I don't know how to fix this, but I am willing to be helped. Cayce described grace as the love of the divine meeting the willingness of the soul. When those two forces come together, karma dissolves. Not because the lesson is ignored, but because the lesson is learned in a new way. You no longer need to suffer through it. You no longer need to repeat it. The moment you understand it, the moment you embody it, the karmic pattern completes. And you are free. But understanding does not come from the mind. It comes from the heart. It comes from a deep inner, knowing that you are not separate from the divine, that you are not a broken thing trying to earn love. You are love, remembering itself. And when you remember that, everything changes. This is why karma can feel so heavy, because you have forgotten. You have forgotten that you are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are not the sum of everything you have done wrong. You are a soul on a journey, learning, growing, evolving. And every challenge you face is not a punishment. It is a doorway. A doorway back to your true self. Grace opens that door. But you must be willing to walk through it. And walking through it means letting go of the story you've been telling yourself. The story that says you are guilty. The story that says you deserve to suffer. The story that says you must carry this burden alone. Grace says no. You are forgiven. You are loved. You are free. But you must choose to believe it. Most people don't choose it. They hold on to their guilt like a shield. They hold on to their suffering like proof of their goodness. They think if they carry enough pain, the universe will see how sorry they are and let them off the hook. But that is not how it works. The universe does not need you to suffer. The universe needs you to heal. And healing begins the moment you stop punishing yourself and start receiving. Receiving is an act of faith. It is the belief that you are worthy of love, not because of what you've done, but because of what you are. You are a spark of the divine. You are made of the same light that creates stars and moves oceans and breathes life into every living thing. That light does not condemn you. It does not turn away from you. It waits for you to turn toward it. And when you do, grace floods in. It does not ask you to be perfect. It does not wait for you to finish your work. It meets you exactly where you are. It enters your life like a quiet hand on your shoulder, like a whisper in the dark that says, "You are not alone." You never were. And you never will be. This is the secret Cayce taught. Karma is real, but grace is stronger. Karma is the law of the past. Grace is the law of the present. And the present is where all power lives. The present is where you can choose again, where you can surrender again, where you can open your heart again and let the divine in. You do not have to wait for the next lifetime. You do not have to walk through endless suffering to prove your worth. You are worthy now. You are forgiven now. You are free now. But you must claim it. You must stop fighting and start surrendering. You must stop hiding and start receiving. You must stop carrying and start trusting. Grace is not something far away. It is not reserved for saints or mystics or people who have suffered enough. It is here right now in this moment, waiting for you to say yes. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I am willing. Yes, I am open. And the moment you say yes, everything shifts. The weight lifts, the pattern breaks. The cycle ends. This is not magic. This is law, the highest law, the law of love. The law that says no soul is ever truly lost. No soul is ever truly beyond reach. No soul is ever cast out from the light. You are always held. You are always seen. You are always loved. And when you finally let yourself feel that, karma dissolves. Because karma was never about punishment. It was always about remembering. And now you remember. Grace is not passive. It is not something you sit back and wait for. It is something you participate in. It is something you allow. It is something you become a vessel for. And the way you become that vessel is through inner surrender. Not outer action, not endless doing. Not proving or performing or trying harder. Inner surrender. The quiet, deep act of letting go. Most people confuse surrender with giving up. They think surrender means defeat. They think it means they have failed. But surrender is not failure. Surrender is trust. It is the moment you stop trying to control the outcome and start trusting the process. It is the moment you stop forcing and start flowing. And in that flow, grace moves. Cayce said that the soul must become empty before it can be filled. It must release what it is holding before it can receive what is being offered. And what most people are holding is the past. They are holding guilt. They are holding shame. They are holding fear. They are holding the belief that they are not enough, that they have not done enough, that they are not worthy of love or healing or freedom. But grace does not see you that way. Grace sees you as whole. It sees you as complete. It sees you as a beloved child of the divine, stumbling perhaps, but never lost. And it waits for you to see yourself that way too. Because the moment you do, the moment you stop seeing yourself as broken and start seeing yourself as becoming, grace rushes in. and everything you have been carrying dissolves. This is why karma feels so heavy, because you are not just carrying the action. You are carrying the meaning you have attached to it. You are carrying the story that says you are bad, the story that says you deserve to suffer, the story that says you must pay. But grace says the debt is already paid, not by your suffering, by your willingness to change, by your willingness to grow, by your willingness to open your heart and let love in. Love is the force that cancels karma, not romantic love, not conditional love, divine love. The love that does not judge, the love that does not punish, the love that does not keep score, the love that simply is. And when you align yourself with that love, when you let it fill you, when you stop resisting it and start receiving it, karma cannot hold you. Because karma is a frequency, and love is a higher frequency. And the higher frequency always dissolves the lower. This is not about pretending the past didn't happen. This is not about ignoring your mistakes or pretending you are perfect. This is about understanding that your mistakes do not define you. They are not the totality of who you are. They are experiences. They are lessons. They are part of your growth. But they are not you. You are the soul that chose to learn. You are the light that chose to grow. And that light has never been dimmed, not by your actions, not by your choices, not by anything you have done or failed to do. Cayce spoke often of the Akashic records, the soul's eternal memory, the record of every life, every choice, every action. And he said that the records are not fixed, they are living. They change as you change. They shift as you shift. Because the records are not a judgment, they are a reflection. They reflect who you are now. And if you are different now, the record changes. If you have grown, the record grows with you. If you have healed, the record reflects that healing. This is the power of grace. It does not erase the past. It redeems it. It transforms it. It takes what was heavy and makes it light. It takes what was painful and turns it into wisdom. It takes what was karma and makes it grace. And all it requires from you is willingness. The willingness to forgive yourself. The willingness to release the weight. The willingness to believe that you are loved, not because of what you have done, but because of what you are. Forgiveness is the doorway to grace. Not forgiveness of others, though that is important too, but forgiveness of yourself. The deep, soul-level forgiveness that says, I release myself from this. I release myself from the guilt. I release myself from the shame. I release myself from the belief that I am not worthy. I am worthy. I have always been worthy. And I choose to receive the love that has always been waiting for me. This is not easy. Because you have been taught to carry. You have been taught that love must be earned. That forgiveness must be deserved. That grace is only for the perfect. But none of that is true. Grace is for the broken. Grace is for the struggling. Grace is for the ones who feel like they have wandered too far to ever find their way back. Grace says there is no such thing as too far. There is only here. And here is where love meets you. Cayce taught that the soul is never truly lost. It may forget, it may wander, it may fall into darkness, but it is always held, always guided, always loved. And the moment it turns back toward the light meets it halfway. Not with judgment, not with punishment, but with open arms. With a love so deep and so complete that all karma dissolves in its presence. This is the secret. Grace is not something you earn. It is something you allow, and you allow it by surrendering, by letting go, by opening your heart and saying, I am ready. I am ready to be healed. I am ready to be loved. I am ready to be free. And in that readiness, grace moves. It does not wait for you to be perfect. It does not wait for you to finish your work. It moves now. In this moment. In this breath. In this heartbeat. But you must be willing to receive it. And most people are not. They block it with their belief that they are not worthy. They block it with their need to prove themselves. They block it with their guilt, their shame, their fear. They block it by holding on to the past, by refusing to let go, by clinging to the weight as if it is the only thing that proves they are real. But you are real. You are here. You are breathing. You are alive. And that is proof enough. You do not need to carry anything to prove your worth. You do not need to suffer to prove your goodness. You do not need to pay a debt that has already been forgiven. You only need to open your hands and let grace in. This is the teaching Cayce gave us. This is the secret he whispered through the readings. Karma is real, but grace is realer. Karma is the law of the past. Grace is the law of love. And love always wins. Always. Not because it fights, not because it forces, but because it simply is. And when you align yourself with it, when you open yourself to it, when you stop resisting and start receiving, everything changes. You change. Your life changes. Your soul changes. And the karmic patterns that have followed you for lifetimes dissolve. Not because they were never real, but because you have finally learned the lesson, not through suffering, but through love, through surrender, through grace. There's a moment in every soul's journey when the weight becomes too much, when the cycle becomes unbearable, when the repetition becomes so clear that you cannot ignore it anymore. This is not a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. This is the moment the soul is ready, ready to stop running, ready to stop fighting, ready to stop carrying. And in that readiness, grace waits. Cayce called this the turning point. The moment when the soul chooses to face itself, not with judgment, not with blame, but with honesty, with openness, with the willingness to see the truth. And the truth is this: you are not your karma. You are not your past. You are not the mistakes you have made, or the pain you have caused, or the suffering you have endured. You are a soul on a journey, and every moment is an opportunity to begin. Again, this is what grace offers: not escape, not avoidance, but transformation. It offers you the chance to look at your karma not as a sentence, but as a teacher. To see your pain not as punishment, but as preparation. To understand your struggles not as proof of your failure, but as evidence of your courage. Because it takes courage to be here. It takes courage to keep going. It takes courage to open your heart after it has been broken, to trust again after you have been hurt, to believe again after you have lost faith. And that courage is seen. It is honored. It is met with grace. Because grace is not reserved for the perfect. It is given to the willing. And if you are still here, still reading, still seeking, still hoping, then you are willing. You may not feel strong. You may not feel ready, but your presence here is proof. Proof that you have not given up. Proof that somewhere deep inside, you still believe. You still hope. You still know that there is more, and there is. There is so much more, but it cannot come to you while you are closed. It cannot reach you while you are hiding. It cannot enter while you are still holding on to the belief that you are not worthy. You are worthy. You have always been worthy. And the moment you choose to believe that, the moment you choose to open your heart and receive the love that has always been there, grace moves and karma dissolves. This does not mean your life will suddenly be perfect. It does not mean all your problems will disappear. But it means the weight will lift, the pattern will break, the cycle will end, and you will finally be free to move forward, not dragging the past behind you, not carrying the guilt, not punished by the choices you made, but free to grow, free to heal, free to become the fullness of who you are meant to be. Cayce said that the soul's journey is not about perfection. It is about progression. It is about moving forward one step at a time, one choice at a time, one moment at a time. And every choice you make in love, Every choice you make in surrender, every choice you make in trust, moves you closer to grace, moves you closer to freedom, moves you closer to the truth of who you are, and who you are is not small. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are a powerful eternal soul, made of light, made of love, made of the same divine energy that breathes life into all things. And that soul has never been lost. It has only been learning, and now it is ready to remember, ready to release, ready to rise. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is the moment you stop waiting for permission and start claiming your freedom. This is the moment you stop believing you are not enough and start remembering you are everything. This is the moment you open your heart, not just to others, but to yourself, to your own light, to your own love, to your own grace, because grace is not just something the divine gives you. It is something you give yourself. It is the moment you stop condemning yourself and start forgiving yourself. The moment you stop punishing yourself and start loving yourself. The moment you stop resisting and start receiving. And in that receiving, everything shifts. The karma that felt so heavy becomes light. The pain that felt so permanent becomes temporary. The cycle that felt so endless finally comes to an end. This is what Cayce taught. This is what he saw in the readings. Over and over again, souls coming to him burdened by their past, weighed down by their karma, convinced they were doomed to suffer. And over again, he gave them the same message. You are not doomed. You are not beyond help. You are not too far gone. You are loved. You are held. And you are free the moment you choose to be. Choose now. Choose to let go. Choose to forgive. Choose to open. Choose to receive. Choose grace. Not because you have earned it, not because you deserve it, but because it is your birthright. Because you are a child of the divine, and the divine does not punish its children. It does not turn away. It does not keep score. It simply loves. And in that love, all karma dissolves. So let it go. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. Let go of the belief that you are not worthy. You are worthy. You have always been worthy. And the moment you believe that, the moment you open your heart and let grace in, everything changes. The weight lifts. The pattern breaks. The cycle ends. And you are finally free. Free to be who you are. Free to live the life you were meant to live. Free to love and be loved without fear, without guilt, without the shadow of the past hanging over you. Free to step into the light and know, deeply and completely, that you belong there, that you have always belonged there, and that nothing you have ever done can change that. This is the truth. This is the secret. This is the one law that cancels karma instantly. Grace, the grace of the divine meeting the willingness of your soul. And when those two forces come together, when love meets surrender, when light meets openness, karma cannot stand. It dissolves, it transforms. It becomes the very thing that sets you free. So take a breath. Feel your heart. Know that you are loved. Know that you are held. Know that you are free. And if you are ready, if you are willing, if you are open, say yes. Yes to grace. Yes to healing. Yes to freedom. Yes to love. And let it begin. Let it begin now. Let it begin here. Let it begin in you. You are not your past. You are not your karma. You are a soul of infinite light, infinite love, infinite grace. And the moment you remember that, the moment you claim that, the moment you become that, everything changes, everything, and you are finally home.